It's not what you hoped, but Nick Bolton's going to miss a couple of games. Not the end of the world. We're going to talk about why, how, and when, and where they're going to make up for it, because your Kansas City Chiefs are out front not only of the AFC West, but of the AFC. And there's a lot to be jealous of for the rest of these teams. We're going to talk about the upcoming matchups. There's a couple on the horizon. It's not just the Broncos. I did some deep diving, and I know how to stop the Dolphins offense. We're going to talk about that tonight, as well as answer all of your questions. This is Dan Harms. He's the guy in charge around here, really. I'm just kind of floating the boat. You guys are running this particular one. I'm Ryan. He's Dan. Welcome to the show. You guys are doing it. We have your questions. You guys have been throwing out all kinds of great questions in there. We're going to get to your topics. All of the super chats get an answer tonight, no matter what. You guys are in charge. We're just going to react. So, obviously, a lot of news today. First off, we did get the dislocation news on Nick Bolton last night. That has continued. Today we find out. I saw varying reports then, but what I got from my guys inside was it is more towards the 8 weeks than the 6. Not optimal, but quite frankly, it doesn't really make me too nervous as long as he's back for the December tune-up to get to the playoffs. Where are you at?
Yeah, that's what this is about. Like, they were fortunate to be able to have Drew Tranquill there. Like, they played without Nick Bolton for a couple of games, and their defense played well. They're going into a situation where they'll be comfortable because they've had to deal with it already. So it's not ideal. Obviously, you want to have a full complement of linebackers to be able to rotate in and out, keep everyone kind of fresh, is what Andy Reid's talked about. Like, they love having a rotation at DB, at linebacker, and at their defensive line. And it's unfortunate to have this injury here, but they're in a great situation to accommodate it because Drew Tranquill is a starting level Mike linebacker in the NFL, not just some guy backup. He's a legit starter. So it's unfortunate, but again, like I said, but they're in a good situation to be able to overcome the injury.
I agree. He's no schmo. He is a guy that would start on most of the teams in the league. So I agree with you. It's a unique situation. We've seen him play well very, very recently. And I think the best thing to do, for those of you who haven't seen my Twitter feed, I don't even know if you can make it out on this camera or not because the lights are up.
Yeah.
I did this a long time ago in college. It's still evident there. You can see it on my wrist, but it's healable. It will heal. The question is, how much strength do you have with it? If it is a lunate bone fracture, that's just speculation. Nobody knows. That's outside the building right now. Mine was a scaphoid, and so it healed up pretty good. It's a bigger bone. It's just some ligament damage and that kind of thing. You can club it up. You can strengthen it by giving it a brace so it doesn't have the mobility, which I don't necessarily feel is a detriment to Nick's game as much as it would be, say, to Willie's or Drew's. Are you comfortable with him playing on a club?
I mean, again, because there's no bone damage, nothing's broken, it's a dislocation. If they get to a point where it's sustainable and it's not going to hurt anything later, like, yeah, sure, fine. But also only let him play in situations every now and then. You don't need to have him out there all the time. If he's going to have a club, you can let him get his legs under him. Like, that's what it would be for me. It would be to get back into the groove, not about being able to make huge plays. You get him out there for a few snaps every drive just to get him comfortable, and then you take him out and let it work out that way. Still have that rotation. So yeah, just towards the end, when things are getting towards the part where he's going to be clear, I'll be much more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm okay with that as well. It's going to be all right. They do have depth. There's some other questions in there, folks. Tonight, we're going to get to all the super chats like Des is here in just a second, and we are going to stack up the topics because there'll be people coming in and out of the chat. Like, sub, hit the bell. If you like this video, it tells YouTube to show it to more Chiefs fans, and that's what we're trying to do. If you're a member, if you sub to the channel, you get extra benefits like seeing this, and if you hit the bell, you get notified. So a lot of people come in and out during the chat, so we're going to hit the big topics. We know what you want to talk about. We're going to give you our opinion on that situation here coming up real quick. But Des brings up a good one because I've had this a couple of times since the news. Do you expect a trade to go down for a linebacker? And because of everything you just said about Drew Tranquill, I actually feel like no, because if there were another injury to Willie or to Drew in particular, I think you feel like Leo Chanel can come in and put the green dot on and be okay in the middle. The question becomes, can you live with either Cochran or Jones as the new Sam or Will, depending how you want to deploy them? That's where the question comes for me, but I think they ride with it.
That's exactly how they're probably going to go about this. And I think that people are still wondering if they're going to trade for a wide receiver. What's going to happen there? I think that you just saw, McCole Hardman is the guy that you're probably seeing. And I think that he had a pretty good day. We'll get to that as soon as, we get around the big topic of the day. But no, I think that they're going to be pretty comfortable in the situation that they're in. Essentially, it's the situation they were in last year with Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, and Leo Chanel. Like, they're in the exact same situation that they were in, and they weren't trading for linebackers or really going to try to get as many as they could to put on their roster. So I think they're comfortable, and the guys that they've had, I think that, Nick and Drew help both of the guys behind them, and Leo Chanel.
Yep.
Like, the mental aspect of this being a linebacker in this system is helped heavily by having both Drew Tranquill and Nick Bolton on this roster. So I think they're pretty comfortable.
I absolutely agree with you. And that's really what it's key is, what does Spags want to do? Des, thank you for your super chat. We appreciate your support like always, buddy. Very nice to have you in. And thank you too, Chad, for the question. Pono, I know you have one. I'm going to get back to you there in a minute. We're just going to go pretty quick here through the first few. Jordan thinks that the team's becoming a well-oiled machine. I like that. What is the one tweak to both offense and defense to make it more successful? Great show, by the way, and thank you. Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Your choice. You want offense or defense?
Oh, I'll take offense. I know you like to be a little bit more about the defensive side. And since right now, I think that they're doing a great job of getting the plays sequenced. I think that they're doing a great job of that. The one thing that I would change, and it's still just not quite enough, just give me some more power. Give me some more power. Give me some counter. Run a little bit more, Andy. Just mix it in there a little bit. If you mix it in, you don't want to mix it too much, obviously, because when you do that, especially with like hamburger, when you're trying to make burger patties, you start to get that all mealy stuff. We don't want to do that to the offense. We just want to mix it up just right, because then you get that the perfect burger, and it's not mealy. It's nice, and it's you got that little bit of bite to it. That's what we're looking for right now. We're looking for the offense, the run game to complement the offense. They were at it yesterday. They were still running the ball. There was the added effort from the Chargers defense to be able to really stop that. I think you mix in a little bit more power, a little bit more moving pieces, counters, make the defense think you're going one way and go the other way, and we're talking full-fledged nirvana.
I like it. Now you're making me hungry, so well done. Folks, for more information, go over to the other channel. If you haven't seen RGR Craft, I have a big GABF thing about to drop over there on Wednesday night. That channel's a lot slower. We don't have the pace like we do here. But you can see some beer stuff. You can see some whiskey stuff. We're starting food stuff over there. You might hear from Dan. You'll definitely hear from me. So go check out RGR Craft. There should be a link to it in the description as well. Thank you, Jordan, for your question. The one thing that I would do is I would change up the fronts a little bit more. The front has been playing very, very well, so let's take it to the next level and let's mix it up more. Throw in a little bit more NASCAR. I'd like to see some bear front against teams that run well. I would use that a little bit against Miami, to tell you the truth, because I want to see you take away the run and make teams compete to your will, not you adapting to it. That's the one thing that I would do, because this defense is humming and I'm pretty happy with it. Steve, does the offense need to develop a reliable number 2 option behind Pacheco? Absolutely. Is it going to happen today? No. I'd like it to be Colin Saunders if we could work that out, Colin. We'd like you to come back. Because CH clearly just isn't able to get that done, even as the backup right now. And that's not a total diss on Clyde. I'm not happy with his performance, but he also is getting the disservice that he doesn't get into a rhythm. And I think Clyde is a rhythmic runner, so that makes it even harder for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is what you're looking at. It's Pacheco, essentially, McKinnon, and then they're just going to kind of throw Clyde out there a few times to give Pacheco a break. Like, that's what this is. Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be in Kansas City next year, and they're going to be drafting a running back. And honestly, there's some guys that got my eye on to be Kansas City Chiefs next year, because I know Pacheco's done a great job, guys, and I'm not trying to rain on all your parade. They can still upgrade at the position. They can still do that. And they should never stop trying to, okay? Don't be satisfied. He's done a good job. They've done a great job, honestly, of developing him. They can still improve upon the position. So the not just a number 2 option, they could be getting a number 1 option going forward.
Let me guess. Who do you like? Does it start with a C?
It
There's
doesn't start with
5
a C,
letters in it?
actually.
It doesn't? Okay,
No,
good.
it doesn't. I don't get me wrong. I like Blake. I don't think he has the speed in the NFL. I don't think he has it. It's another similarly built runner, actually, a Bucky Irving.
I
From
was just
Oregon.
going
I'm
there.
all in there. I'm all in on Bucky Irving, man.
Yeah. I love that fit. He's going to be a day 3 guy. I don't think he gets all the way up into the top 100. We'll see.
I think he'll go round 4. Right now, I think I have him as a 4th round pick, and I think that's the sweet spot for Bucky Irving in this offense.
Yeah. I'm glad you see it the same way I do.
I'm getting excited about draft already. Like I've been getting back into the film on it. Like I'm pumped.
Yeah, right. Oh, and folks, I just finished up the metrics for the pass rushers. That's going to be on NFL 33 today. We're going to more behind the wall content. So if you want to support us there and see all the research that we're doing, even in season on the college game, make sure you head over to NFL 33 and get the paid subscriptions because that's how you get that info. A lot of really interesting names in there and some names that people are still trying to push right now that aren't playing like a top 15 pass rusher in college football. I'm just going to let you know that. So dang, we like the same guy. We're going to have to diverge at some point, but our tastes are starting to run together, buddy. Do you expect that the teams to do what the Chargers did in the second half, bring a safety down to double Kels? And the other spy Pat on drag routes. Yeah, I mean, it's a solid concept. It's just about making them pay. And I think what you saw from Rashee Rice in that middle zone, Kadarius Toney hit a pass in the middle. We've been telling you guys about that for weeks. As they start to click that, and the pass to Hardman, where it was an intermediate drag, really, it looked like a shallow dig that turned into a complete crosser, and that's fine because it worked. You got to get behind the linebacker level when they do that, or the drop down safety level. And that'll be key. But yeah, I think that's coming, Micah.
I think it's coming on 3rd down like almost every single week from now on. I think you'll see it on 3rd down exclusively, actually.
We're going to have to take a look at routes run, too, because that's going to be an interesting concept between last week and, say, the first 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you think Chiefs have a shot at going at having
a top 5 offense?
Top 5 offense and defense the rest of the season? Chad, that's still a little lofty in my approximations. Depends how you're measuring that. I think they're 9th in DVOA right now on defense.
Yeah.
And she's very excited about it. I love the big eyes. When I say defense, and she goes, that's my happy spot. We're going to say that's what she was thinking too. Micah, are you expecting Denver to have another close one? I mean, closer than most. Yeah, their red zone D is good. You're absolutely right. They do play tough. I don't think they've fixed their problems, though, so I don't think it's going to be like
Justin Simmons also got suspended for 4 games today. So
did he?
They'll be playing without him probably.
Okay, never mind. It's over. It's going to be 14, 17, 20 points, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll get you our preview here later in the week. Do not miss Friday. Our game plan video sets you up, and we do the picks. We do the whole 9 yards. Be here on Friday. It's our last live stream of the week every week. It's going to be fun.
Good job, sweetheart.
Miss Avery, the queen of Chiefs Kingdom. Thank you and good night, my dear. Jim Nance mixing in Taylor Swift and Jawan Taylor jokes is starting to be too much. Starting, Micah? I have it on good authority from someone who was there today that the paparazzi are following Travis around now just for a glimpse of Tay-Tay. I think it's gone too far already by a long shot, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, I'm ready for it to be over.
Well, my apologies, guys. I did mean Kareem Jackson. Yes, not Justin Simmons. They kind of flow together in my head because I feel like they're the exact same person almost. So yes, it was Kareem Jackson. My apologies. I got that wrong. I'm a Swiftie, guys. You've been doing this a long time. I know. I'm a Swiftie. I got no problems. I love this. I love it. I would tweet far more about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce if I could, but I cannot. So
you're legally restricted. Is that what you're telling me?
My wife just gave me a death stare. That's what I mean.
That's awesome. Okay, let's get to Alex's. Alex, thank you. And of course, thank you for the sustained membership. 14 months. That's a great one.
Awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Alex.
Is Rashee Rice our future number 1 wide receiver? He's certainly looking that way right now. Now, I have to say, his jump from SMU versus Sky's jump from Central Michigan should be fairly similar, but SMU has been the better program of late. So maybe Sky can catch up to him. I do think that they will be a duo for a while, to tell you the truth. As Dan said, I do think MVS is probably this year will probably be it. We'll see what comes after that. There's a lot of talent on this team. Maybe McColl stays too. You don't know. There's a kid from Washington that I love as a day 2 pick in this upcoming draft that's going to be a perfect fit for Andy's stereotypical perfect receiver. I love Jalen Polk, and I think it's going to be awesome. But that's just me because I'm a little suspect on the Washington Huskies. You guys know me. It's all right. But that said, do you see anything changing that? Would you project Rice as number 1 right now?
Yes, I mean, I don't think there's any question about it because of the way that they've incorporated him into the offense and he's taken over. Like let's be honest. They're asking him to run the second most valuable routes next to Travis Kelce. He's running the overs, the clears and people are running clear routes for him. Like this is not a fluke. It's not he's just kind of doing everything right, so he's getting the ball. They're scheming for him. Like this is not again, this is not just because he's winning. He's also winning. Like it's both. He's winning and he's getting schemed into it. So it's Rashee Rice and then it's everybody else at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Jonathan, just to follow that up, I like them both. McMillan's injury this year has made me a little bit nervous, and just fit in the offense. I think Polk is a little bit better fit, to tell you the truth, in being able to play all 3 positions and do a little bit more for Andy. But that's just my concept for right now. We'll see what happens. I think McMillan's supposed to be back here pretty soon too, so we'll get another look at him. Okay, you guys have been waiting long enough. This is the crux of the day. So, Rifleman, you put it. What happened to Justin Ross? I am not privy to the police report or anything like that, but I'll give you the gist of what's been reported. He was arrested, evidently. There's been a mix of what the charge was. From the sources that I know best and trust the most, it seems to be a destruction of property charge that is at the felony level. I know there was a DV thing out there. I have not heard anyone confirm that. One way or the other, it's a significant charge. It is a felony. Justin Ross obviously has had his struggles on the field. Adding a struggle off the field like this is going to be problematic for him.
Yeah, and we don't want to speculate. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm going to give you just 2 facts. We don't know much about what's going on, but if he is charged again with that felony, that's not great, obviously. And he was an undrafted free agent. The Chiefs have 0 monetary investment in Justin Ross. Okay. Those are the facts. We'll wait and see what happens. But when you have no monetary investment from a team, I know that is not what anyone wants to hear because I can't stand that either. It shouldn't matter. Okay. Shouldn't matter, but it does to NFL teams and organizations. When you don't have any monetary value invested in you, you are much more pliable as a player. Let's be honest. So hopefully
Agreed.
Whatever ends up happening gets processed properly. And if he is, again, charged, he gets the help that he needs dealt with.
You got to hope so. And FLDB, thank you, buddy, as always. And for you guys that are in the Discord, for you members, you know that he handles a ton of this. Appreciate you as always, pal. And if you guys want in the Discord, you can join at the rookie level or above in the memberships down below Dan over there. You get my rants. You get Dan's rants. You get me a little bit flowery from time to time. You're going to get another one here this week from me because I'm just getting pissed off more often, I guess is the way it's going. But from FLDB, so he might get released. Would this make room for Clark? Nice segue, and thank you. Appreciate it. My thought is this: if they wanted Frank or they needed him now, he'd be on the roster right now. I think there's something physical. God knows he's been sick, ailing, hurt, or whatever for the last 3 seasons. Or they just realize that there's no other market for him, and they're going to wait until the playoff run. Maybe December they sign him for a nice Christmas present. I don't know.
That's exactly what I think. They say, we know you don't have a market. You got released from the worst team in football. Released.
Yeah.
No, there was no trade market. And if there comes to be an opening on the practice squad at some point, because right now it's full. It's a full practice squad. If there's an opening, maybe we'll bring you on. Maybe we'll just kind of say, hey, go ahead. We know that you're not going to be a guy who's playing snaps for us right now. And you know that. You're not playing anywhere. So just come on, practice a little bit, get your feet under you. If you're sick, you got something to deal with it, we'll figure it out. And when the playoff comes around, yeah, you'll be here.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate you. Steve, thank you. Nice to see you. Welcome to the memberships. If you guys do want in the Discord, once you're in a membership now, Steven, sorry, go into Discord, connect your account to your YouTube account, and you'll have full access. It should be super nice. And FLDB, you can thank for that. Pono, he was on the Locked On Chiefs stream earlier, and I guess I misconstrued you. Sorry, Pono. You were not talking about Drew as he's a legitimate starter. You meant Cochran. Is it a dead end if Drew gets hurt? I think the Chiefs are going to take their chances. I think they're comfortable enough because of Leo. I'm perfectly comfortable with Leo putting the green dot on and going into middle linebacker. I'm okay with that. They're going to treat him more like Nick than anything because they're not going to ask him to turn his hips and run. He's going to play downhill the majority of the time. The question becomes, is it Cochran? Is it Cam Jones that then has to play the Will? Because Willie will then go to the Sam is my thought. But they might look for a free agent, but I don't think it's a dead end. I think they'll get through it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that this is, like you said, I agree with you because Willie has played Sam before. Like, let's not forget, Willie's played Sam and Will. Like he was playing Sam when he was a rookie, if I'm not mistaken. So those are interchangeable. And again, I agree with you. His best attribute is going downhill. You can use that to your advantage if you don't have Nick Bolton for an elongated period of time, and you have to make some changes. So at worst, I would think you'd see a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, I'm down. Thank you, Pono, and I hope I got it right this time, buddy. Appreciate your patience. Jeremy, Chiefs have a 3-game lead in the AFC West, over under that we win division by 5 games. 5 games. That would require everyone else only getting 3 divisional wins. I think somebody's going to break that. So I'll take the under. I'll say it's 4.
Yeah, me too. It just doesn't. I mean, let's be honest. I think all 3 teams that are not Kansas City are terrible football teams right now. The Chargers have one of the worst defenses in football, and their head coach is coaching not to lose his job. Well, guess what that makes? A team that loses football games, and they have lost football games, and they're going to keep losing football games, especially close ones, because he's coaching not to lose.
Yeah, it's just sad. I'm going to leave it at that. Dr. Ozzy, hope you're doing well. Will Chanel playing more snaps impact how we treat third downs? Less 3 safety with Mike Edwards. Will it not matter? I think he is playing well. The whole thing depends on Drew more than Chanel, in my personal opinion. If they feel like because he has to play so much going forward that they want to protect him a little bit, we might see a little bit more 3 safety set. I want to say they've been running at about 18% so far this year. They might get up to 20, 22, something like that. I don't think it'll be enormous, though. Do you, Dan?
I don't think he's going to play much more than he does now. But again, that's also game-based. If you're going to come up against a team that plays more 12 personnel, Leo's going to play a little bit more. But also, I think that they should be doing more of their 3-and-3 sets. But they did more of those with Nick Bolton healthy and Drew Tranquill on the field. They brought it back yesterday. I saw it. Yeah. I was very happy Nick Bolton got hurt. So I don't know if you'll see it as much with that in mind, because you don't have as much rotation at linebacker to keep everyone fresh. But it's like my favorite thing right now. Just watching him be an overhang like defensive end linebacker. It makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Thundarius, hope you're feeling well, bud. And thanks for being on both streams today. Appreciate you. Going to be in one of the end zones for the Chiefs-Raiders game on Christmas Day. Man, I am trying to get there myself. I got to convince a lot of the family to try it, but we'll see what happens. I will definitely be making a YouTube video about it, and as I did in the draft. Awesome. You did a good job. Also, tonight makes halfway through treatment. Congrats, buddy.
That's awesome. Keep pushing, man.
Glad you're doing well. Yes. Keep it up, and include me in on your video. I will promote you, and you can send me a clip or whatever. We'll get you on the show. Hope you continue that and keep fighting. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. Ozzy, you had another one. Thoughts on Michael Davis saying that Kelsey didn't do anything to beat them. He just let them. What did they change in the second half to limit him?
Okay.
Well, let me put it this way. A defense's job is to stop people. They didn't do shit to do that. So, okay, Mike.
I mean, so maybe Mike Davis is talking about him specifically because he's an outside corner. Mike Davis didn't do anything to beat him because he wasn't asked
Zero.
to. The problem here is that the Chargers came into a game where, and I said it yesterday, where Brandon Staley has seen Travis Kelce 3 seasons in a row. All right. This is now his 4th season as their head coach, unless my math is wrong. So that is, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games. And he said, first half, we'll play soft zone.
Sure.
We'll play soft zone.
And look what happened.
What has to
Wait.
go through a head coach's mind for this to happen? What makes you say he had over 100 yards in the first half against the Broncos? Let's play soft zone against him and let him do it again.
Sorry, I totally hosed your close up there.
You
I'm so
absolutely
sorry.
did, but it's okay.
I did. Oh, so sorry. I was going the same place you were, though. 79 yards tells you exactly what you got to know about that one. Oh, my apologies, buddy. Don't let me drive. It's just ugly. You know, what are you going to do? Peyton, how are you, man? I know this isn't Chiefs really, but are the Bengals and Bills no longer the biggest threats in this AFC season? If not, who then? I'm not ready to sell out on the Bills. We've seen them kind of stumble before and come back. I'm excited for the Dalton Kincaid era myself. So let's ride with that. I think that Josh he's so up and down. I think he will bring it back. I'm not sure about the Bengals. They get the Niners this week, and that ain't going to be pretty. I'm just going to tell you now. The Dolphins are probably the bigger threat.
Yeah, let's just wait until 5 weeks from now. We'll have a much better idea, but I don't think it's the Dolphins, personally.
No.
I think that their offense is extremely unsustainable, and we kind of saw that last night. And I think that Ryan and I have some similar ideas on how you can prevent that offense from doing anything. And I actually think that the bigger problem, which has been a problem in the past when they were good and healthy, are the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson presents a bigger issue to this defense than a lot of them do. And we haven't seen Lamar in a few years now, but he's typically continuously runs over them, like just continuously does. And right now their defense is not just, it's healthy and they're playing awesome. Roquan Smith is a legitimate dude in that defense. Like, he wasn't great in Chicago. He's a dude in Baltimore. And they're doing a fantastic job of mixing it up, doing a lot of different blitzing stuff. I think that their defensive coordinator is, I believe it's Mike McDonald, is fantastic. They're doing some great things right now. I think the biggest threat at this current moment is the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, that's a good take. I like that. I completely agree with you about the unsustainability of the Miami offense. We saw that last year. There's no difference there. We will break it down for you in Germany week, folks, because we'll show you exactly how it's going to happen. You can call it the Hill rules. You can call it whatever you want. We'll get there. Thanks, Peyton. And Dr. Who, are the Chiefs are amazing and batting on passes. Is the most batted passes by a defense you've seen? I want to say that the Bears back in the 80s had a better season at least pace-wise, but I was like, I was less than 10. So what do you want me to do? I saw it, but I didn't really see it.
Yeah.
Dan was not alive.
I wasn't alive then. And I'll be very honest with you. As much as people, I love looking back at football, I have not watched much old football in my life. So there's not much there for me. But this is one of the greatest attributes of this Chiefs defense. They see the quarterback extremely well. Like, they understand, especially, I think that a lot of teams get this idea that if you're not going to be able to get to the quarterback immediately, you kind of just fake it till you make it, right? The Chiefs are not like that. They're like, if I can't get there, I'm going to do everything I can to get in a throwing lane. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to look at eyes. I'm going to shift. I'm going to move. I'm going to start doing it. They're fantastic. They're extremely well coached. Joe Cullen and C. Spagnuolo is a beautiful combination that has brought out the best in this entire defensive front. It's fantastic.
Agreed. And I'm gonna put you guys the stats up here because I want to show you this. It wasn't George Karlaftis or Chris Jones that got him yesterday. The two guys that have been doing it the most, right? It was Willie Gay and fresh off the bench, Charles Omenihu. And now I should go back. In fact, we're just going to do that as a group because we're all here. And I love you guys and you love Charles Omenihu, so we're going to check. Because I don't recall Charles having that many batted passes in the past. So let's have a look. Because he's had four others in his career, none in San Francisco last year. So that's a pretty good start, I would say.
I would say so. Great. I
Yeah,
love it.
hey, we're off and flying, and that is a team coached thing, and I agree with you, Dan. That's something you can hang your head on. It produces PBUs in without having to get even in the realm of being caught, and I love that. More nicotine. I don't ever see Chiefs, OC, or DC in the box. They're always on the field. The players. Is this an advantage for the Chiefs, and why the difference? I'll give you my opinion, Dan. If you want to go first, feel free.
Yeah, sure. I think that the Chiefs and Andy Reid typically he wants coaches around their team all the time. They seem to be a very like tight knit group. It's more of a culture thing, and I don't dog on any team or any offensive coordinator that wants to be up in a box where you can see stuff. I totally get that. Like there's an advantageous situations and advantage to being up there to being able to see some of the different rotations that you're getting. So I completely get that, but the culture that Andy Reid has and the way that they interact with players and how not just Andy Reid goes to talk to them. You see Steve Spagnuolo go and talk to him. You see Matt Nagy sit down next to players, next to Patrick Mahomes. They have a special connection with their team that's a little bit different. So this is how they go about it. And I think that it benefits them because it's the culture that they've established and all of their players are open to this kind of coaching in this relationship.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of an age thing. It's certainly an old school thing. Steve Spagnuolo and Joe Cullen are old school coaches. Andy Reid is an old school coach. Matt Nagy obviously is much younger and more on the edge, but he's learned from the tree that is Andy Reid. I will also say this. When you look around the league, other coordinators, I feel like the closer you are to the players' ages, meaning if you're a 35-year-old coordinator or maybe even 38 or whatever, like it's a little bit close there, right? And I feel those guys like to go to the box a little bit to concentrate and have like the chess master's view, whereas older coaches like to be in there because they have a more established relationship with their players. It's more of a fatherly, mentory kind of thing, right? But they also, in my experience, find that coaches that are a little bit older, especially at the coordinator level, they're getting input from their players. They want that. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What do you think that you want to do? And then they incorporate that on the fly. They're a chef. They need that input from their sous about what's going into this recipe. Whereas I think the younger guys want to like see the game themselves more. I think it's that interaction with people that influences those decisions too.
I'm with you. I like that.
Steven, my fiance and I just moved from Dallas. Welcome to Colorado, buddy, to Fort Collins. Any food recommendations? Oh, that's great. Hang on. There's one place. I found this place when I was in Dallas for the draft a couple of years ago, the Snooze breakfast place. I ended up eating there almost every morning. And there's a place in Fort Collins. Is that by you too?
There is a Snooze out here, yes, but I originally found it in Colorado when my parents-in-law lived there. Snooze is awesome. I love Snooze. Like awesome. I love it. It's great.
So the cool thing is there isn't a Snooze in Fort Collins, but there's a place that I think is actually better, and I'm trying to find it. It's right on the main drag across from the Agave Room. And is it Penrose? No, it's the Silver Grill Cafe. So there's one for breakfast. The best tap house in town is called Tap and Handle. You can get some of the best beers on the planet there. One of my favorite breweries is there. Odell, you need to go in there. Cooperstown is a nice restaurant. I could talk to you about food and beer here for about an hour, so we're gonna have to cut that out before I get too deep. But there's a couple of options, pal. And welcome to Colorado, buddy.
Awesome.
Caroline, since Andy Reid likes to practice against the Broncos, do we see any Wanye snaps? Any thoughts on his progress so far? Awesome show, Charger territory, and a lot of complaining today. Well, welcome in enemy territory. I hope that Pacific Beach is looking good to you. I got a buddy down there too. Do you think Wanye plays? I tend to doubt it right now.
I don't think so. This is practice, right? Practice is about getting your starters chemistry. That's what they want to do. They want to work the starters in the chemistry. Yeah, everyone gets snaps, but this is a little bit different in the sense it's like a scrimmage. You hope that it's not close, and because again, the Broncos are a dumpster fire. They're terrible. They should be selling off every bit part of their team that they possibly can right now because they're bad. And Sean Payton is in the clean house. It's coming. If you're watching this, you're a Denver Bronco fan, and you guys know, they're cleaning house. It's gonna be gone.
I'll pay you $5 for one Patrick Surtain. How's that?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. I promise you that much.
Hey, a
But yeah,
cheeseburger tomorrow for the guy today. 900, thank you for that. If you guys would hit the thumbs up, that would help. We like to get out to more and more Chiefs fans all the time. It's a big, big kingdom. And as you can see, there are channels that have hundreds of thousands of viewers. So let's keep growing. We're making progress. And that is thanks to you guys. We very much appreciate you. Let's see here. Who is next? It's Steven again. Thank you, Caroline. I know this won't happen, but who would you rather have in this offense, Brock Bowers or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
There's one answer to this question. There's one answer to this question, and I'm sorry, Ryan. If you give one, there is a wrong answer to this question.
Okay. I certainly do not agree. I think both of them would be an upgrade, but for me, it's Harrison.
It's not close. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. because yes, Brock Bowers is awesome, fantastic. You can't find Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. He is he is as blue chip as they come at the wide receiver position, in my honest opinion. Brock Bowers is fantastic. He's a blocker. He does all of that. The NFL is a little bit different. I'm interested to see how he transitions. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. not only is going to get better going from college to the NFL, he's got trajectory to be one of the best receivers in football in his range of outcomes. And
I agree with you.
I just think Marvin Harrison Jr. is that guy. That's special.
Okay. I thought you were going to go the other way, and I was going to have to tell you, now, Dan. But no, we absolutely agree on that. I was going to say it's no choice, but that's what I would do. Des, do we need a Derrick Henry or Fournette with Pop? I mean, will they use him correctly? Let's be real. Derrick Henry can still hit the outside zone, but he is not running inside. He's not have the quickness in the hole. Fournette certainly doesn't. Will they run more power? They've shown a propensity to maybe do more power than I would have thought, but it's terribly inconsistent. And Derrick Henry and Fournette are both rhythm runners. So as a backup, I don't see either of them working for me.
They need it. Like, they need volume. Both of them, to be impactful to your offense, they need volume. That's true. Now, Derrick Henry would bring a little bit of gravity to the situation. Let's be honest. He absolutely would. Leonard Fournette, no, because he's not running guys over like 50 yards downfield. He's not doing that. Derrick Henry still has that speed to be able to do that, and he would bring a little bit of gravity. So on one hand, okay, I understand. But on every other hand that I have and every other finger, like, you have one finger, say, yeah, I understand that. For everything else, absolutely not.
Okay. I'm not arguing. Not gonna bet. Thank you, Des, as always. And thank you, Stephen, from before.
Appreciate
Chiefs
you,
Kid, if you could poach any player from another team, who would it be? Price is a second, and Cap is not relevant. Glad to finally catch it live. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you, and glad you made it too. So Cap is not an issue. Got to give up a second. Who are you going after for this roster?
For this roster, I'm going to get AJ Brown. I'm going to get AJ Brown because while I absolutely love Justin Jefferson, he's a fantastic route runner. There's one thing in this offense that you're going to create. It's space open over the middle of the field. And they need a power forward at wide receiver sometimes. And now Rashee Rice is a good kind of power forward player right now. We're seeing that. He's more of a 3, though. Like, he's not the guy that's going to get down low in the post and be able to get it up and do some of that work like AJ Brown can. AJ Brown's going to get you digs open over the 12-yard middle of the field, and then he's going to run away from everybody. That's what he does. So it's AJ Brown.
Yeah, fine. Me personally, and I think this will delineate exactly how Dan and I see the game. I'm going to go grab Micah Parsons, not look back and let no one score 10 points. That's what I'll do. So it's just two ways of getting the same thing accomplished. We just go about it in different ways.
Yep.
If that were to happen, I might lose it. I just might lose it. That's just the only thing. Thanks, Chiefs Kid. Appreciate you. Justin, who do we have the dot mic behind Tranquil? It will be Chanel. They had originally thought that might have been his role last year, but clearly he's moved around, and I think that's fine. Scott, how quick and how much does Hardman get into the action? How did you feel about where he started, Dan? What do you think he can do coming here?
All right. So if you guys have not seen, I did put the Mahomes interception up on Twitter. You guys can follow me on Twitter at InHarmsWay19. And McCole Hardman and Patrick Mahomes nearly erupted Arrowhead. One Arrowhead drive. He got a really good cover corner in Asante Samuel Jr. to bite on an out route. He ran an out and up, and he got him to bite on the out. Now, say what you will about McCole Hardman. His speed is there. And I understand that you want to slow some things down and say, well, maybe he doesn't get separation. He was going to pull clear of Asante Samuel Jr. And he was about to. Mahomes' arm got hit, was unable to put into the throw. I think Hardman played well. And we saw his punt return ability. So, yeah, he's going to be a good addition because he's already kind of up to speed. Like we talked about this, like when he was brought over. He's already up to speed on the situation. He knows what's going on. He knows the system. He knows the terminology. He's not going to have much time to get ramped up. And we saw that. So, excuse me. Yeah, he's going to be involved again next week against the Broncos. Don't be surprised if you see him take a jet sweep.
Yeah, I certainly am ready for it. I'm actually really keen on him continuing to do what he did. When he can convert digs to crossers, and especially when he gets that was a nice move. Not something we've seen him do a whole lot, where he's actually correctly elongating his routes. That's something that Tyreek did a little bit. And if he can get into those roles where he can then make that adjustment, he's going to be there and be somebody who can make that leap. He's not going to be Tyreek, but could he be like DeMarcus on the spot like he has been in the past? By the way, shout out to DeMarcus. I guess he got robbed for like $100K in jewelry on the streets of LA last week. So hope you're doing well, DeMarcus.
Yeah, man. Jeez.
Yeah, he could turn into that. So I don't know. I think he feels like he's matured in his couple of public appearances to me. I think that could go a long way for him. So thanks, Scott. Steven, thank you again. Texas Tech bias here, but how about Taj Brooks? Taj is the running back. He's hefty too. I think he comes in at like what 225 or something. Hang on.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Let me pull him up here. We'll take a look real quick because I don't want to just guess stuff. So PFF has him at 230. Okay, my fault. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I have not watched a Texas Tech game this year yet, though. So from what I remember from last season when I saw him, I was pretty happy with what he did. What did he get? He got 500 snaps last year. So clearly he's in for a bigger role this season. But from what I remember, he can hit the hole and he can move the hole. More of a power guy from what I remember seeing, but I could be wrong.
I'm kind of moving off the power guys as I watch more college football. Like people were all over Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky last year. Was not for me. Tyler Algier, not for me. Tyler Algier was in a fantastic scheme last year. That's why he had so many rushing yards, by the way. So yeah, those kind of guys just aren't for me. So I'm glad you like him, Steven, and I appreciate your support there. And I'm just going to call myself out on this one.
Okay. I certainly, me, I'm all for a UDFA. So I'll take power backs. I'll take speed backs. I'll take them all because I ain't paying for any of them. So Stephen, thank you again. And I will try to get one of their games here in soon. I know that I think YouTube has been recording them for me, so I should be able to get to it. I'll take a peek. Thank you, sir. Des, thank you again, Des. Now I got Dan. Which RBs are your top 3 right now for KC?
All right. Well, let's start. Number 1 is Will Shipley out of Clemson. Will Shipley is a legitimate 3-down threat. He is a good. He can do it all. He can run zone. He can run power. He can catch the ball. He can pass protect. He can do everything that you want him to. And in this offense, he would be he would be what everyone wanted Clyde to be when he originally came out of LSU, but he's faster. Like he's actually fast. He's there. I think Bucky Irving would be number 2 for me. Yeah, he does want a UDFA fullback. He does. I do think he'd be number 2 on my list for the Chiefs, like right there after Will Shipley. If I think Donovan Edwards is eligible for the draft, I think he'd be 3 for me. I love Blake Corum. If Edwards doesn't come out maybe he stays in there, it would be Blake Corum would be number 3 because he is one of the most polished between the tackles and vision-based running backs in the entire draft class. He might even be the best in terms of what he sees and how he can get in and out of holes, out of his breaks. He's incredibly gifted as a vision player. I don't see the speed for the NFL. I'm a little worried about that personally, but
Yeah,
that's how it goes for me.
I can get with you because like I need that home run ability. Like I like watching Estime run. He's a great college back. He doesn't have that top gear to come in the league and actually hurt people. So I agree with you there.
All right. Well, breaking, it was confirmed that Ross was arrested Monday, today in Shawnee, Kansas, and is facing a felony charge with criminal damage of more than $25,000, and his court date is set for tomorrow.
Ouch. Okay. Thank you for that, Dan. Yeah, and Big Jack, I know that this is from before, and we did address it. That looks like we'll find out more information for you tomorrow. I'm sure we'll discuss it on the Friday show. We'll see. The circumstances are going to play a lot here on what the Chiefs choose to do. So let's just leave it at that. Again, we don't have the details yet. When we do, we'll give you an opinion. But thank you for the support. Appreciate you, Jack. Let's see. Pat overthrew Sky Rasheed on some longer balls, less line drive, and put more air under these. It seemed like Pat used to do that a lot more and have more deep ball success than these days. He also had Tyreek Hill being the guy that he was throwing to.
I was about to say, you could just kind of throw it up there a little bit and let Tyreek run underneath it. You don't have that ability right now. So
for every Dolphins fan that's telling you how great Tua is, it's Tyreek. It's not Tua.
It's hard for Tua to overthrow him because he doesn't have the arm strength to do it. So he just kind of throws it up, and then it just falls down, and Tyreek's like, I'm running. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate to quote the old Raiders owner, but Al Davis had it right. Speed kills. It is the differentiator in this league and always will be until they start playing robots instead of humans. I don't know what else to do. But yeah, if you get somebody, and maybe McCall will bring this where maybe he does do a little bit more of it. Every now and then you'll get that to MVS, but you're right. He just seems to be driving the ball a little bit more lately. Hey, Papa, is anybody going to bring up Dan's choice of headgear today? He would like a little support. Thank you.
You want to explain? I know my dad pieced out already, but I appreciate you, Dad. Yeah, my wife is a Diamondbacks fan. I'm not, but I support her in all of the games, and this has been a fantastic series to watch. I was watching the game. I'm supporting her team. So yeah, and this is also a nice hat. Okay, this is a very nice hat. Like we're talking very, 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 very nice. So aesthetically pleasing because I like hats, and so yes, I watched it. They forced Game 7. I'm ecstatic. I can't stand the Philadelphia Phillies, so I apologize to all you Phillies fans out there. I can't stand them. I'm rooting hard against them. Go Diamondbacks.
That's awesome. And don't even ask me, guys, because I don't know any of the teams he was just talking about because it's just baseball. What's realistically a ceiling for Rasheed? He can be 1,000-yard number one receiver for a team. I fully believe that.
Sammy Watkins for this team. Healthy.
Yeah. And I'll even put it this way. Because of his age, if he signs a second contract in Kansas City, he will play part of his career in an offense that is without Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
In which case he can be the focus of the passing game, I believe.
He would also run the routes that Travis does. Like that. This is a good situation for these young players to be in. Okay. Yes, it looks a little bit tough, but do you know how long it took Travis Kelce to get to the point where he's at right now? You have any idea how long? He wasn't doing this with Alex Smith.
No,
he wasn't doing that.
He was having some success, but
he was. This is relatively new. Travis knew early in his career that he can win based off of speed and accelerate and athleticism, and he did. Took full advantage of it. And as he got a little bit older, he is like, I know this doesn't last. So you know what he did? He started studying the game differently. This is information he can pass to every single one of these receivers. Now, it didn't take initially from McCole Hardman, but he also wasn't here long enough to really get all of that information. I imagine it takes a lot, but also some players operate differently. So this is a good situation for them to be in to learn from Travis Kelce. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thank you, Munksy. Doug, hope you're well. I think Dan is having a great season so far. What are your thoughts? Dan, over to you.
Oh my. I appreciate Doug. Appreciate this because I didn't know what he could be. I didn't know. All I knew was when he came out of Michigan, he was a different player than he was at Central Michigan because he was an edge. He was a legitimate edge at Central Michigan. He saw some of the things. I'm so happy for this season. He has been awesome. He's been awesome. The growth from a 5th round pick that they traded up to get that nobody was drafting. Nobody was going to draft him in the 5th round,
right?
But the Chiefs went up and they got him. And
Just to
now
make sure.
they look smart as hell. Because Mike Dana, not just a role player in this defense, he's on pace for 10 sacks this year. 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not a role player. That's a legitimate dude in a defense. And he's been awesome. Just general. He's been great. I'm so happy for Mike Dana. My guy.
So I guess I'm Nate Tice now. So welcome to the Athletic Football Podcast.
I am
Dan channeling Robert over there. That's awesome.
I am.
Thank you, Doug. Hey, Tom, how can the Chargers play us 2 times every year and know us better than anyone else and still not plan for Travis? Is it like that they thought that he played with them in the first half? I mean, it's your question. Your question is legitimate. And the answer is, I have no damn idea.
We don't.
It's a lack of foresight on the staff's part. That's all I can say. Staley is a good schemer. I don't think he prioritizes or analyzes opponents very well. That's all I can say.
Me either. I just think he's a bad head coach. And before we get to that real quickly, yes, he has now graduated to a dude. My guy. Thank you, Les, Lev, for keeping up with that for the whole time. I appreciate it. Mike Dana, dude.
Where does Bohemian fall in there? That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, it depends on if we're just going the bro scale. The bro scale is different. Dude scale is a little different. Like you have 2 different scales, but you have Brohan, Bohemian. You got lots of different things. Brosifs, all that stuff. Bohemian is like up there,
right? Yeah, it's monstrous. Okay, that's how I treat it. Okay, I'm with you now. Derek, hope you're good. Is there another option besides Williams and Watson on the outside after Snead McDuffie is looking a little rough? It was a rough day for them yesterday.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at the question. And
no, I know you're
Stevie
not.
Steve made me laugh in the comments. Nice job, Stevie.
there's still depth there. Nick Jones is still out there. Tamari Connor's still coming. Obviously, the rookies, so they're getting a little bit a preferential treatment. I know Joshua in particular had a rough day the other day. Jalen was a little bit better, but honestly, nobody stopped the Chargers very much. Trent McDuffie, I think. In fact, we can show. Oh God, you're going to just have to take over here in a minute after. No, you're good. You're good. Nobody had a particularly good day, and despite giving up 70 yards, the most by any one DB, completion percentage, the best player on the field yesterday was Trent McDuffie. So, I'm not counting Drew Tranquil. Sorry.
No, you're playing the slot. You're going to give up yards. Like that's a natural thing. And he. It's funny when you look at some of the things that they were doing. Specifically, I think they may have assigned some blame to McDuffie that wasn't his. I'll be very honest with you. Yeah. They do that a lot where they don't actually know assignments and they just kind of throw yards at players. So take these for what they are. But McDuffie was not having an issue with like Keenan Allen. The reason Keenan Allen got yards is because they blitzed Trent McDuffie. They blitzed him. So they're like, "Oh, you're not going to be on Keenan Allen, so we're going to throw it to him now."
Right?
They didn't throw it to him like when he was on him.
You can keep that. Oh, I don't even remember what movie that's from. Thank you, guys. Walt, can't the coaches see the full 22 on their tablet, thereby not making being in the box as important? They can, but again, tablets are different from being on the sideline, watching things develop, seeing the physicality, and particularly that back and forth from the players, particularly your stars. I think that's even more so important in that concept.
But also, they can the offensive coordinators and defense coordinators can talk to their mics and their quarterbacks up to 15 seconds on the play clock. So if they see something right before, They can see it right there, and they can talk to him, and they can say, "Hey, guess what? This safety is shaded, or he's cheating down. He's been cheating down all night, and we can do that." See, so just little stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the question, though. And Lev, thank you. If you guys were coordinators for a team, would you rather be an eye in the sky guy or on the sidelines? Which style do you think would better fit your personality? I'd be on the sideline.
I'd be on the sideline too. Like, I know that I talk new school age football, but I'm a talk to you kind of guy. Like, I'm not a coach for by any means, but if there's one thing I found out about myself during this process of becoming a film analyst is that I want to talk to you. Like, I want to talk about football. I want to sit there and, like me and my buddy Damien, and even Ryan, like, we'll call each other. We'll talk on the phone. Like, we'll just talk about football. Like, Damien sends me voicemail messages on my phone. Like, it's not text.
Yeah.
We like voice message back and forth. So yeah, I'm definitely on the sideline guy.
I will tell you guys this funny story. I started podcasting because I couldn't write fast enough to get my thoughts out. And I just started talking to people and calling my friends to sort it through. And they're like, will you just stop talking to me and go start a podcast already? I'm like, okay, fine.
I was funny story from me. I was calling things out after they happened, right as like the announcers on TV do. I was saying what happened before they said what happened. And my wife and my friends were like, you need to go do something about this. Like, this is ridiculous. And guess what? Now I'm here.
Make it work for you. Thanks, Doug. Is McDuffie the best? He's rated the best CB in the league so far this season. What a beast. Yeah, here's the other part. He's doing it as a nickel guy. Like, yes, I know he's played some outside snaps, but he's doing it at the harder position, playing on the inside where everybody has multiple goes. It's impressive. I'm going to go check and see if his grade is the same, but what are your
He's
takeaways?
no longer the best. He's no longer the best graded according to PFF. That's now Devin Witherspoon, which, I don't agree with, but he's a rookie and playing in a really great system for him. And he's not being asked to do too much. Let's be honest. But McDuffie is doing everything that he can to just kind of, hold this defense together. Like, the first half, they were giving up some big plays. The Chargers had it out for him, and then they adjusted. And I think that he was part of that. They didn't blitz him in the second half to my eye. I could be wrong about that. But when you blitz, you take a chance. And I think that he's a great blitzer. But they understood that his best attribute for this team against the Chargers is to sit back in coverage and be able to come downhill and tackle. He made huge key tackles in that game. He upended some guys that could have gotten first downs, maybe even touchdowns. I think he saved a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken, on the right-hand sideline with a great tackle.
He definitely did. And for those of you that are checking the notes, you members get my notes. I actually posted them last night earlier than I usually do because I'm not going to be able to sharpen them up by rewatching as much as I usually do because of my schedule this week. When you see OFT, that's open field tackle. That's significant, and I record them because they are game-changing when you can make them, and they're devastating when you don't. So that is definitely a key. Tom, thank you. We're going to hit through the Super Chats here as we wrap it up. I know Monday Night Football is on, and we have things to get to. So bear with me. If you have last call for Super Chats, if you haven't, get them in, and we will get those done. Tom, was it just me, but they were not tackling great at the second level? Seemed like we let them get to 8 yards plus before we hit them. I don't think I noticed a ton of missed tackles by the linebacker level, but Dan, what did you see?
I didn't see a ton of huge misses. I think that there were some angles that were took specifically by Justin Reed on the touchdown run that were wrong, just bad waiting, stuff like that. That seemed to also be negated in the second half. They were playing a little bit more press early in the first half, and then they played a little bit more off in the second because they were ahead, and that's kind of what they do. So it looks like that a little bit when you get those tackles that are coming downhill and there's space there. That's kind of typical. You're not going to see them play a ton of man in the second half of games because they're up a lot. So I don't necessarily think that they weren't tackling great. I think they had some steps or some plays that they want back for sure. Overall, I think they tackled much better this game, or actually this entire season, up and outside of week 1 than they have before.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was Reed was the big culprit. PFF has him with 3 missed tackles.
Yeah.
I didn't record that many, but we'll see it. We're going to speed up a little bit. So Sticks, I'm just going to give you a couple here. Who are you most surprised from for the past draft? Chiefs and then the league. I'm most surprised about Keandre Coburn. I'm more surprised about the team than I am about the player. I don't know what the hell's going on there, and I'm pissed. As you saw last week. And then from a league, it's Laporta. I thought he would be good eventually. I didn't think he'd hit this fast myself.
Yeah, I still think it's Rashee Rice because he's done the Chief rookie wall. He's gotten past it, blown through it. He's done what no rookie usually does, in terms of being the number 1 receiver in this team. So him, and then it's Puka. It's Puka Nacua, guys. Like I loved Puka coming out. Like I was a big fan of him. I didn't see this. I didn't see what he was going to do. Yes, his name is Puka Nacua.
He's Polynesian. It makes sense. Nick, thank you. How does Kareem Jackson's suspension change the game plan for Sunday? It opens things up underneath. So those middles to Kels, to Rashee. I hope that Tony gets more than 13 snaps this week because I think he'll be in a position to get some leverage on a safety, especially because you got to think they're going to go back to a zone. I think they played 62% zone last time the Chiefs played them. So I don't know. It didn't work that time, so maybe they won't. They'll try to man up, but that's going to be a mistake. So we'll see.
I think there's a competition going on in the chat between Steven and Stevie to try to get me to laugh at the most bro jokes, and it's hilarious. I got to say, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I'm loving every second of it.
That's awesome. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just trying to get through the super chats. Have fun. Thank you,
man.
buddy. Why is y'all's opinion on Patrick Mahomes coming out of the draft? I was at Texas Tech when he was there, and I knew the kid was special, but not this special. That's kind of how I felt. I had him number 2, but behind Deshaun Watson. I thought it was going to take him longer to fix his feet and be able to like settle down for the normal throws. He surprised me as well.
I'll make Ryan feel really old when I say this. I wasn't actually doing this when Patrick Mahomes was drafted. I was not talking about football. I wasn't.
Dude, I was doing this when his dad was still playing. Shut up.
I was not doing it. So.
Oh, man. That's it. I'm out. I'll see y'all.
Hey, we got to get through these. We got to get through these.
Go ahead.
It's still name on your channel, bud.
Fine.
Thank you for that, Steven. What's going on, Justin? It still amazes me how many Chiefs fans don't even know how to spell Chiefs. You know, it happens. Some people, Ryan is one of them, maybe spells it with the EI first. The I before E, except after C stuff is always weird, but you think you would say it a little bit for the Chiefs because it is I before E, except after C, but there's a C right there. You see how that can be confusing to some people? It can be confusing.
When I type chefs, I mean chefs. It's the other one that I screw up. I am terrible. I apologize, Justin. I beg your forgiveness, please. Christian, it's because I'm old. Let's just listen to Dan. It's because I'm old. That's why.
I didn't say
it. Thanks, Christian. Hardman brings more to the team than just catching the ball as a receiver. I think his speed opens up more in the middle of the field for Rice and Kels. Yeah, I mean, you have to have those deep threats. He certainly does that. I was actually happy. Like, he got 2 kick returns, and one of them was good. Like, that's a pretty good average for McCole. You know what I mean?
If you can make one punt return a good punt return, you've done your job as a punt returner. But that's what it is. You can inject just huge momentum and energy into a team with a punt return like that. If you can get 3 or 4 out of those out of the season, it's worth it. It's more than worth it.
For sure. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate you. Tom, thank you, buddy. Not Chiefs related, but do you see the sick crossover with DeAndre Swift and Jerome Baker last night? I did not. It was like his ankles broke. No, I was streaming and stuff, so I missed most of that game. Did you see it?
I also did not watch. I knew the Eagles were going to win. I didn't have any qualms about that. I was very convinced. I also finished watching Shrinking last night with my wife instead. So
Shrinking?
So good on Apple TV. It's Harrison Ford and I forget his name.
You know, that guy.
Give me a second.
No, that's cool. I'll get this one. Tom,
Jason
thank you.
Segel.
Appreciate you, bud. Oh, okay, cool. Sweet. No, I've never not heard of that. And I have Apple TV. I just don't get to watch it much.
It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Pono, thank you. Would you trade
you,
Pacheco to
Pono.
the Jets for Breece Hall and a 3rd-round pick?
So we're getting a 3rd-round pick back? Is that how I'm reading this, Pono?
That's how I read it.
I would
let's-
give them
let's-
Pacheco and a first for Breece Hall at this point.
Ooh, I would not.
No, I'm just kidding. Not a first, a second. But yeah.
I wouldn't do that either. You're going to end up paying more on a second contract for a guy that's just as broken, actually more broken than Pacheco is, and it's just a running back.
I think he'd be awesome in this system. But regardless, yes, I would trade. I would trade Pacheco to the Jets for Breece Hall in the 3rd. Yes, I would.
Okay, I would be a no on that. We'll have to go to Andy for the final decision. Breeze, thank you very much. We're going to end up on this one. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell. Are y'all loving Andy's commercials like I am? Great googly moogly. I saw it, but I was like in the middle of something. I didn't get to see the remake. Was it good?
He's so
wait,
good.
You weren't
man.
alive for the first one.
No, not for those. No, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm talking about the commercials. So I love the nuggies.
I like the nuggies as well.
The nuggies,
the
is
chef's
great.
one. Did you see the chef's where it's painted wrong in the end zone? They remade it.
I did.
That was a remake, Dan, from when you were like 3. Come on. Good God.
Sorry. No.
My beard is not going gray. I swear it's an illusion.
What? Tell me what it is. What's it from?
It was original Snickers commercial where they mispainted.
Okay.
Left the eye out just like I do.
Okay.
And it said, "Who are the chefs?" Okay. Breeze, thank you for that moment of enlightenment and dating myself even worse. So cheers, buddy. Thank you guys for being here for Monday Night Football. We appreciate
Thank you guys.
And thank you for all the super chats tonight. We'll have more on Ross when we know something on Ross.
Yeah.
So hopefully if there's an arraignment or something tomorrow, we'll find some more information out. So look for that. You'll hear from Seth tomorrow. We'll have film. We'll see what happens with that situation as it boils down. But as we go through the week, film is coming. Obviously, Gary's on Thursday. You have Seth tomorrow for Chief in the North. And then we are live again on Friday. Please join us here. We'll get you ready for the next ball game, and we're looking forward to it. Dan, thanks for your night and for all your wisdom from the youthful point of view. I like that. And well done.
Hey. We'll get film for you guys on Wednesday. I'm going to stay up tonight to finish all of it because dropped a little bit late. So yeah, finish it tonight and go for Wednesday.
Rock and roll. You guys have a great Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow.